I want you to take a moment and imagine making US $900 per day online, that is, simply by copying the links of trending stories or news articles. And I'm not talking about copying the article, just the link, the URL, and pasting that link into a user-friendly app that automatically generates videos about that said trending topic in just minutes. Rockstars, I know it sounds too good to be true, and I thought so as well until this moment. Now, to prove to you that videos like these are going viral on YouTube, take this faceless video as an example, which was on a trending topic in the news when it was actually posted some months ago. The video got over 2.4 million views in just 2 months. The channel has been around for only 2 years, and it's all about trending videos like the ones I'm going to show you how to create by simply copying a link and pasting it, not by doing research, getting footage from all over the place, putting it together, finding a voice. No, we're not doing any of that. It's too complicated. We're going to be copying and pasting a link. And here's what's amazing about these kind of videos. Videos on trending topics and news, they tend to go viral very quickly. Now, the very first video that this channel posted, it actually got 82,000 views in the first 28 days. That's incredible. But it didn't stop there, because a video posted only 2 days later got another 79,000 views in the first 28 days. That video today has gotten over 479,000 views. Now, this channel gets about 180,000 views every day, and at a rate of about $5 per 1,000 views, which is typical of channels like these. The channel is making 900 US dollars per day. In this video, I will share 3 simple steps, which is the secret to how to use Google and AI to create viral or trending topic videos in mere minutes with no recording, no editing, and that do not require you to show your face or to use your voice, or better yet, I will actually show you how to use your voice without recording it every single time you want to create or post a video, if that's the option you want to explore. And rock stars, this copy and paste strategy is so simple, a 10-year-old could actually do it. That said, we have a lot to talk about, so here is step 1. And this is how to source your content. The first source is Google News. And Google News is actually a news aggregate service which is created by obviously Google, that uses algorithms to select news stories from a various number of news websites and blogs out there. Now, to get started, just Google News, and then you select the option at the top of the page that comes up in the list. And as you can see here, there are many trending topics under each section. By selecting any one of these topics, it will take you to an article that's related to that particular topic. Now, the second source is going to be Google Trends. And Google Trends is a website by Google again that analyzes the popularity of top search queries in Google search across various regions and also various languages. So if you want to know if a topic is being searched for or if a topic is going viral, Google Trends is an ideal tool to use to ascertain this information. Just Google Trends to get started, and by selecting trending now from the menu and then daily search trends, you'll actually see the volume of searches for various topics. That said, let's grab our computer and move to step 2, because right now we're going to create this video from the link to be posted on YouTube. let's create our first video using Google Trends. We're going to use Google News later, so hang tight. On the Google Trends homepage, you're going to select your location of choice, as I'm doing here. And for this particular tutorial, we're going to select the United States as an example. Click trending topics, and you're going to do this from the menu to see most current news. I do recommend that you choose a trending topic with 100,000 searches or more, because the virality of that topic or the video that you're going to create, it's going to increase from a probability perspective. Now, from the topics that are trending when I was creating this video, I'm going to choose Fortnite, which is actually a very popular video game. As you can see here, it has over 500,000 searches, which means it's definitely a trending topic because a lot of people are searching for it. Apparently something is going wrong with Fortnite. And you know what the best part is about using this strategy to create content? You don't have to be an expert on the topic. I have no idea, other than hearing about Fortnite on YouTube. I don't know anything about gaming, but watch me create a gaming video that's gonna get a lot of views. Now, by selecting Fortnite or Fortnite, I'm not even sure how it's pronounced, you're going to see the most recent news, and you can scroll across here to see more options. This article was posted about 4 hours ago at the time when I was creating this video, but there are actually other articles here that were posted more recently, like an hour ago. So if you're going to choose an older article, just make sure that the topic is still relevant. From the options available though, for today's tutorial, I'm going to choose this article that was posted about an hour ago on Forbes related to Fortnite still being down. So now I see why it's trending. The search for the term Fortnite is also on the rise as per this chart that I'm showing you here when I created the video. So to create the video, you're just gonna go up here where the website name typically is, or where the URL or the domain, whatever you call it, that's all you're gonna copy right here. And that's the link for the article. So let's click on it as I'm doing here and copy the link. And the tool that we're going to use to create our faceless video with just the link is InVideo AI. And I'm going to put the link for InVideo AI in the description of this video. It's going to be the first link. And here's the great news. By clicking that link, you'll be able to create free videos on InVideo to feel it out and to determine if it's a tool that you want to use. I know you're going to be convinced, but at least you'll get to try it out first. And when you're ready to start posting videos using this tool, you'll definitely need to get the paid version. And in doing so, you will be able to download videos and get rid of all the watermark and also access a lot more features on InVideo AI. Now, by clicking the link in the description and landing on the InVideo homepage, from the workflow options, you're going to select Explore All, as I'm doing here, and then select Recent Event Video from the menu. You're now going to paste the link that we copied from Google Trends, remember just the URL, and you're going to paste it in the InVideo AI tool right here where it says search the news and also check. Just copy it and paste it right there. Where it says create a recent video about, you're going to go back to the article on Google Trends and you're going to copy the title that's there. We're not coming up with anything new here, and we're going to paste it right here in InVideo AI as I'm doing. I find that adding a bit of humor makes the videos a little bit more engaging because people will actually be chuckling while they're watching. So I'm going to type add some humor. Now for this video, we're going to use the new InVideo AI Clone Your Voice feature, where you can actually record your voice for about 30 seconds or more if you'd like, and then upload your voice into the InVideo AI tool, and it will duplicate or clone your voice, and you will be able to use it for every video that you create without having to record your voice every single time. So let me show you how to do this quickly. From the home page of the InVideo AI platform, you're going to select clone your voice as I'm doing here, and you're going to click on add voice, and you will get instructions to guide how you're going to clone your voice. Just find a very quiet space in your home, and you're going to record 30 seconds worth of footage. This could be you reading something, or it could be you just talking openly. But what is critical is you need to say in that recording, I give InVideo AI the permission to use my voice. And of course, this is in the guidelines here from InVideo. To record your voice, you can use your smartphone, but the better and more sophisticated the equipment is, the more realistic your cloned voice is going to sound. After you record your voice, you upload it to the InVideo AI platform, and then you're going to check these 4 boxes that are going to pop up here that confirms that you have followed the instructions well. And I clicked my sample looks good to get started with the voice cloning process, and the InVideo AI tool will then validate and process your file, and all you have to do is click done, and your voiceover or your cloned voice file will be ready. Now, I named my voice Odetta's voice. Obviously, you can name yours whatever you want. And with your clone voice, you can now select it to use as your voiceover for as many videos as you want, whenever you want, without ever having to do another recording of your voice. I'm going to select my cloned voice for this video that we're creating. Let's add subtitles and click continue, and then select generate a video to get started. Now you will be prompted by InVideo AI to choose your audience, which we're going to go with the default prompts or the default recommendations that InVideo is giving us. And listen, rock stars, within minutes, you will automatically turn the link from the article into a professional video that is ready to be posted on any platform out there, especially YouTube. And just like that, you would have created your first trending topic video. Let's play it so you can see the magic of this InVideo AI tool in partnership with Google. Jumping to Chapter 5 of Fortnite's Season 2, the Odyssey season sparked anticipation of Greek mythology. Players prepared for an epic adventure filled with excitement and strategies. However, all they got was a long, dull wait. Epic Games, Fortnite's creators, had players downloading a practically unplayable patch. It was like trying to play Fortnite on a toaster. The servers crashed, and the game was as unplayable as a piano devoid of keys. The downtime extended to a grueling 8 hours beyond the expected launch time, a wait that could have been used to watch a film trilogy or delve into a lengthy novel. Watch the full video with the link in the description of this video below. Now, as you can see, the stock footage that is used is on point with gamers and gaming, and you can hear my voiceover with that touch of humor to keep people chuckling throughout the video. And if you agree at this point, after watching that video clip, that you believe you can do this and make $900 a day, or listen, even half of that, I want you to write in the comments that number that you're targeting, whether it's 900 a day, 400 a day, 100 a day, 1,000 a day. Put your goal in the comments to start the manifestation process. Now, if you want to use your video as is, you can definitely just click on export and export your video. And remember to download without the watermarks. You will need the paid version. And InVideo usually suggests default options like 1080p and so on for the video download. I typically use that. And rock stars, this could be the end of your video creation process. You don't need to do anything else. You can literally post this video now and start getting views because people, especially gamers right now, are searching what's going on with Fortnite, and your video is going to be right there ready to pop up to the top to give them valuable information that they need. But let's say you want to take it to another level and you want to edit this video. Let me just show you some easy ways to do this with the InVideo AI tool. You can click on edit and then edit media, and you're going to see the footage that was used throughout the video. And then you're going to find somewhere in this script where it speaks about Fortnite, and that's where you're going to replace the image. What we're going to do next is go to search right there in the InVideo AI platform, and we're going to search for Fortnite. And in doing so, you will be able to access the millions of images that are available right there in the platform. When you find an option that's appropriate for your video, you just select it, just click apply changes, and the changes will be applied. So if I were to play the video, now you would see that Fortnite photo pop up, but it's animated because it's automatically done by the InVideo AI tool. What this does is, let's say you're talking about a unique topic that has somebody's photo that's relevant to that trend. This way, you'll be able to put some representation of that throughout your video because the InVideo AI is very smart. It's going to give you excellent footage, but if you want to make it person specific or event specific or app specific, this editing step can help you, but it's not required. But that said, let's go to edit and select script because we need to add a call to action. And the call to action is going to sound something like, thank you for watching, watch more videos, or something like that. Let's play what I added here. Until next time, keep those thumbs ready for the next gaming journey. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe. Now, if someone had told me, Rockstars, that in my lifetime, I would be able to copy a link and turn it into an entire video with one click in a few minutes, I would say that they're drinking something that they shouldn't be. Wouldn't you agree with me? Do you find this to be incredible? If you do, just write incredible in the comments. Now that we have a hang of things, let's use Google News quickly to create a video. On the Google News homepage, you can choose US, world, or local. As an example, when I choose local news, because I reside in Jamaica, I'm going to see what's happening in Jamaica and in the region, like the Caribbean. You could use this option if you want to create regional or local videos based on what's trending. But you can also select business, technology, entertainment, sports, science, health, or any of the other topics here as you see me doing. Now today, let us select business. I believe many people will want to hear about this. The title is President Biden wants to give homeowners a 10,000 US dollar tax credit, and here's how to qualify. All we're going to do is select the article, copy just the link, hop over to InVideo AI as we did earlier, select recent event video, paste the link and copy the title because it does sound pretty intriguing and it's good enough, so we're going to paste it in the InVideo AI platform as well. Let's give it a command again to add some humor and make the video 3 minutes long, which you can make the video as long as you want with a simple command as I'm doing here in the InVideo AI tool. Let's add subtitles and select continue, and let's generate our video. On the article on Google News, there was actually a video of President Biden talking in the actual space when he was making this announcement. We're going to do a quick clip of that video and we're going to upload it into InVideo AI so that when we start our video, we'll replace two or maybe one of the stock images there with Joe Biden actually speaking in that forum to make the video a little bit more relatable. Now, rock stars, let's check out our video. In his recent State of the Union address, Biden slipped this little nix, aiming to make home ownership more affordable. This isn't just for those on the nice list, but for all first-time home buyers and those wanting to spruce up their current digs. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this just another real estate jest? But I assure you, it's no jest. This tax credit is aimed squarely at middle-class families, those less than 200 grand a year. Consider it your golden ticket to home ownership, designed to give the real estate market a tickle. But did you hear that? Remember, we just created that from a link. Some useful information was shared in this video, so feel free to watch it at the link in the description below this video. You can also use the same Google News to create videos on weather conditions without being, what do they call the persons who report weather? I want it geologist. I think it's a geologist. It's definitely not a geologist, but a meteorologist. And just listen to my report here about the weather.
A potent storm system recently triggered severe weather alerts across the southeast, leaving millions to brace for its impact. New Orleans and surrounding areas found themselves under a tornado watch. This system, relentless in its course, caused hail in the southern plains and flooding in the Dallas-Fort Worth region. The storm system brought heavy rains, with rainfall rates exceeding 1 inch per hour. It was a deluge that sparked concerns of flash flooding in Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. A level 3 flash flood risk was issued for parts of Alabama and Georgia. Flood watches were put into effect, affecting around 11 million people. But the storm didn't stop there. The threat of severe storms extended to Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. The potential for hail, gusty winds, and isolated tornadoes kept everyone on their toes.
Now, rock stars, with video creation being this simple, it's going to be so easy for you to create multiple trending videos in a day. Take as an example, let's say you have a 9-to-5 job. When you wake up in the morning, before you either go out to work or if you work from home, before you start working, just go ahead and jump on your phone, because remember, with InVideo AI, you can use it on your phone or your tablet if you have an Apple device, as well as on your computer, so you can use it on the go. So while you're sitting there in the bathroom, just go on Google Trends or Google News to see what's trending, and just copy your link, create your video, and post it before you leave or before you start working. When you're on your lunch break, pop out your phone again, or your tablet or your computer, and you can go and search again Google News, Google Trends, what's trending. And you just create a video there in 30 minutes, post it, that's your second video. And when you get home, just before you go to bed, or when you're in bed, just before you start sleeping, you can pop out whatever device you prefer to use, and then you can find whatever is trending at that time of day, and you can create a simple video. That's 3 videos in a day in just mere minutes while you're doing something else. And while 3 videos will allow your channel to grow much faster, if you're only doing 1 video per day, your channel also has the potential to go viral because it's trending topics. It may just take a little bit longer. Now, $900 equates to about 27,000 US dollars per month. And this is not going to happen overnight, although it did for that channel that I showed you earlier, that on their second video, they got over 400 and odd thousand views. But you may not have that kind of, I don't believe in luck, but things may not work out for you the same way. But because I don't believe in luck, I would say that 27,000 US dollars a month is worth you making the sacrifice to create 1 video, maybe 2 videos, or 3 videos per day. But you're going to have to make that decision, and you're going to have to make the sacrifice of time to get this done. There is no doubt that 27,000 US dollars a month can replace 90% of the 9-to-5 jobs out there. So to make life-changing money, you're going to have to take life-changing steps. Again, the link for InVideo is at the top of the description. And if you learned anything of value in this video, I would really appreciate you liking it. And remember, if you're not yet a rock star, go ahead and subscribe. Until next time, war good.
New group of retail traders at Trade Algo who have been seeing an unusual success rate in options. How? By leveraging a new technology called dark pool AI. The AI scans through secret exchanges called dark pools, and it allows traders to see where smart money may be buying and selling. This may boost traders' odds of finding top momentum trades. We'd like to offer you a special gift where you can sign up for our SMS dark pool alerts for free. Here's what happens as soon as you sign up. When our AI spots unusual activity by smart money, we will alert by texting you with an exact stock ticker. Want a bonus? If you sign up now, we will also send you a free report on the power of using dark pool AI data in options trading. Hurry and claim this offer now. It's easily worth $3,000 plus. Click the link below to claim free SMS dark pool alerts and a free report.
Is it still possible to make it on YouTube, or is it too late?
Well, yes and no. I'm launching a new show.
This is like a rocket ship. You'll be at 10 million subs in no time.
Tens of thousands of young people commenting on these videos.
I don't know many other YouTube creators who are going to go to those lengths.
Our whole budget is a team of 4 people.
I looked at that and I was like, what the hell does that mean?
I remember thinking this is going to bomb.
That video is a bit of a stretch. The actual checklist before greenlighting a story involves 3 things.
In reality, you're making a TV show. My question is, if that offer came to you, would you take that deal? Today on the Collins Mirror Show, we're joined by Cleo Abram.
Cleo is a former Vox journalist that left to go independent on YouTube and make her show Huge If True, which is an optimistic show about technology and the future.
Over the past 2.5 years, Cleo's put out 36 videos, and her channel has gained 3.5 million subscribers. She's also collaborated with creators like MKBHD, Simone Yetch, Johnny Harris, and she's gotten access to some pretty amazing organizations like CERN, Nike, and Formula One.
In this episode, we watch and break down some of her most viewed shorts and learn how meticulous she is with every single line and every single shot.
We also break down the intro to one of Cleo's most popular videos to get an understanding of how she's hooking millions of people and getting them to care about a topic that's pretty complex. Honestly, I just love every opportunity we get to sit down with Cleo. I leave every conversation with her feeling smarter.
You just feel like you're as smart as she is, which is a nice gift.
Yeah, she just has so much to share. Now, before we get into the episode, I want to show you a first-of-its-kind AI-powered software that's specifically designed for YouTube creators. It comes from the sponsor of this episode, Spotter Studio.
So here's how it works. You can start from scratch, just click Brainstorm, and because it's connected to your YouTube channel, it'll give you a variety of titles based off your top-performing videos, as well as videos in your category. Or you can start by putting in a title for a video idea that you already have, like this one for our studio tour with Dude Perfect. You can continue to workshop titles until you find the ones that you like and save them to your project.
Now, one of the coolest parts is that it helps you brainstorm thumbnails. So these are mock-ups that you can use for inspiration when you take photos and design your final thumbnail. It gives you composition ideas like this one, where Colin's holding a Nerf gun. It's just an eye-catching element that we wouldn't have thought of otherwise. And you can upload a photo of yourself and other cast members so that the mock-ups look more like you.
Spotter Studio can also help you brainstorm concepts and story beats for your videos. It's a first-of-its-kind full project management software for you and your team. and it'll help you manage your production process from coming up with ideas all the way to pressing publish. Samir and I and a bunch of other top creators like Dude Perfect and Kiniger Dion helped to develop this software over the past 2 years.
If you're a creator, you should definitely give it a try. The link is in our description. You get 60 days totally free. You can also scan this QR code that's on the screen right now and try Spotter Studio. We definitely think this will up-level your channel, coming up with better ideas that are tailored specifically for you and helping you get those all the way until you press publish. All right, now for our conversation with the incredible Cleo Abram. Cleo Abram, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I mean, you guys know that I listen to basically every episode of the show, so I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I think I'm realizing that you listen to more. Like it's funny because you know people listen and watch the show, but then when you hear someone reflect back to you something from like minute 35 of an obscure episode, you're like, oh wow, you really listen to the show.
Oh yeah, I know all the references. I know all the words that you've made up. I
even had breakfast when Samir said, we have this thing called relative zero.
And I was like,
I appreciate you for stopping him rather than just letting him explain one of our vocab terms.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you for watching and thank you for stopping him.
We've spent a lot of time together, but rarely are we recorded. I think only once we've been recorded together. And I've been looking forward to this quite a bit. I think you're one of the most unique cases on YouTube and most unique creators to enter our world and our ecosystem in the past couple of years. I think Colin and I, when we were talking about this conversation, we were like, Cleo has experienced like the fastest pace to achieving the YouTube dream from anyone we've seen. Do you feel that way?
sometimes yes and sometimes no. Yes, in the sense that I feel so unbelievably excited about the success of Huge If True. There was a feeling of, oh my God, if I make this specific thing, because I launched with a trailer that had a description of the show, there's a vulnerability to saying, I want this thing to exist. Do you also want this thing to exist? And so the fact that there are now millions of people who watch the show is just so deeply gratifying in that way. And at the same time, I mean, we've talked about this, like I feel like it's just barely getting started.
You know, a lot of people ask us the question around YouTube. How do you launch a YouTube channel? What does it mean to be on YouTube? And I think originally in 2011, when we first started on YouTube, YouTube was very much like a YouTube channel was a channel, even using that term in the same way of television, where it's like, oh, a channel can have multiple shows on it. And that's what YouTube was. And YouTube was like more understood as like you launch a YouTube channel and that's your network. And then you can have multiple shows. Even in our first channel, we literally would license shows and we put out like a TV guide schedule that was like Mondays are this show and Wednesdays are this show. And it was all different types of shows. And over time, the maturation of YouTube was like, actually a channel is a show. And a conversation we had with a Hollywood showrunner, he framed it as like week-to-week television, meaning the way we used to watch television, where it was like Wednesdays at 5 is this show. You would watch that. That is what a YouTube channel is now. It's like a way to frame your week. And you launched a show, which is very different from launching a channel. And like your commitment has been to, I make a show called Huge If True. It has a brand to it. It has an intro animation. Everything is the brand of the show. And I think that respects where we are in the industry today. It also respects IP, but it also has an understanding from a business development perspective of like, I assume you were also building decks around like Vox Explained. And like, here's the brand of the show. Here's the mission of the show. Here's what it stands for. Here's the audience. Here's how you can buy an ad with this show, or here's how you can engage with it from a business perspective. How much of that went into like prior to launching the YouTube channel? Like how much did you think about the difference between a show and a channel or a media company?
A lot. The reason why I left Vox is that I really wanted to make this specific show. Like, I loved my job. I loved working at Vox. I loved the kinds of work that we were doing. And I began to have this idea and this feeling that I wanted to start this specific show. And I came to believe that it had to be its own independent YouTube channel. The specific story that I think about as kind of the genesis of this idea, although I think it was a lot of things happening at the same time, was that I was making a YouTube original show called Glad You Asked. And I made an episode about the decision whether to have kids. And it was sort of wide-ranging. It was about fertility. It was about economics. It was about all kinds of different things. And I was really proud of it. And we released it, and it did well, and I was posting little clips of it and like talking about the same topics on TikTok at the time. And I posted a clip, and I started to look at the comments as they were coming in. And I remember the first one that I saw was, oh, this is interesting, but I can't have kids because the world is getting worse. And I clicked on who it was, and it was like some teenage girl account on TikTok. And more comments started coming in. I began to realize that a lot of them were this same tone. And on the one hand, that was unsurprising to me in some ways. Like, I am in the same media world as everybody else. Like, I watched Black Mirror when I used to watch Star Trek as a kid. Like, I know what the tone feels like about the future right now. And on the other hand, it was pretty shocking because there were just this huge, like, tens of thousands of young people commenting on these videos saying that they thought the future was getting worse and that there was nothing that they could do about it. And I remember feeling like I had contributed to that somehow. And I don't mean to say that like I had, I was a, young journalist at a media company. Like, I don't think that I was having some big impact on the world of journalism, but I did begin to feel like I was participating in something that was contributing to this idea that the world is getting worse and there's nothing we can do about it. And I began to have this idea for a show that would explicitly say, here are the ways in which humans have done an incredible job. We're so lucky to be alive right now. Here are all of the many problems that we're facing in the near future, and here are the people working on solving them. And so I just began thinking more and more about this specific idea. And I had all kinds of little pieces to it. When you're starting to think about something and it begins to feel fun to you, it's like, okay, what are the colors of that show? Well, these are things that no one else probably notices, but to me it was like, okay, I watch a lot of science fiction and it has a specific color scheme. It like usually looks like Tron. It's like black and silver and like one neon purple or neon green or something. And I wanted this show to be dark greens and dark browns, and it sort of, the message is not, oh, the world has ended and we live in a spaceship. The message is, oh, the world has gotten a lot better and we're incorporating science and technology in an interesting way. Like, how can you make a show that uses all of these signals to build this thing?
Are those colors like specifically earth tones in the context of like it's grounded in?
Very solar punk.
Yeah, interesting.
And my point is not that I knew exactly what Huge was going to be when we launched it. It was that there was this seed of an idea, and it was a specific show. And so my desire in launching on YouTube was not like have a vision of starting a YouTube channel, although that did become a big vision because it's so necessary for this show to grow. It was like, I really am curious if people also want this thing. I want to have a show that is huge if true and explores optimistic visions of the future. And therefore, I'm going to start a YouTube channel.
Obviously going independent meant you would have to support yourself from a revenue perspective. So when you say people, where did the weight of, is there an audience for this? And is there a monetization strategy for this? Like, are there advertisers for this? How much did you think about that going into a show?
I was pretty sure that if it worked from an audience perspective, it would also work as a business.
Got it.
I didn't think too much about what kinds of content advertisers want. Although it is also true that, being optimistic about the future, like, happens to come with lots of companies building interesting stuff that are also optimistic about the future. And that's, a fine line between what you want to say and what you don't, as a journalist especially. But I basically thought, this is such an incredible thing to be true about YouTube right now, that if I could build it, they would come. Like, if this was an audience success, it would also somehow work as a business. And I had seen, I'd been working on Vox's business side several years before I left. And suddenly the combination of like understanding how you would pitch something and how you would say, like, this is the cadence and this is where the advertising lives and this is, what the mission of the show is, and do you want to be part of this? We didn't have advertising early on because we just didn't have any audience, but it started to pick up maybe 6 months in. And I just sort of went on faith that if the audience was there would also be a business around it.
So I want to talk about the show and where your ideas come from. Like, at the core of every successful YouTube creator is the ability to write an idea. And on YouTube, that's the ability to formulate that into a compelling title, thumbnail, and first 30 seconds of a video, like title, thumbnail, hook. And, we spend a lot of time tweaking our ideation process or thinking about ideation process, and have talked to a ton of creators about that. Sometimes when one of your YouTube videos comes across my feed and it's new, and I'll admit this one, what's really happening at CERN? I looked at that and I was like, what the hell does that mean? How is that video going to perform?
I remember thinking this is going to bomb.
Yeah.
Like no one knows.
I was like
Cleo's lost it. Like this one, this one's not going to work.
And then you click through and it's like this incredibly dense amount of information. And you constantly surprise me with the videos you're able to put out. And I think that video is closing in on 4 million views. Your quantum computers video has almost 8 million views. You constantly put out videos that I look at and I'm like, there's no way millions of people are interested in this subject matter. And then they are. So what is that ideation process? And how do you even come across some of these subjects? Are you just inherently curious about things that millions of people are also curious about, and somehow we have no idea what you're talking about?
Can we talk about the CERN one specifically? Let's stay in that world, because that one for me, I love the video, but I did not understand the title and the thumbnail and just assumed it wouldn't work.
I did not know that video was going to work either, is the short answer. And I wanted to know more about it personally. I got the opportunity to visit CERN, and that was cool, and stand in front of this basically science church that looks like it's a huge bronze, well, it looks bronze, I am forgetting what it is actually made of, circle, and just appreciating the incredible scale of the science that is being done there. And then I had all kinds of questions. How do they make the protons hit each other? Why are they going that fast? How did we get them going that fast? What kinds of energies are being created there? Is that dangerous? How do you know when something hits each other at that scale? What came out? Also, what's the point and what has it accomplished? We've spent $10 billion, I think it is, on building this machine that is enormous and took, thousands of people nearly a decade to build. Why did we do that? I'm just so interested in what other people are building and why, and I feel so grateful and kind of astonished all the time that there are people that are working on stuff like this. And so it was mostly this feeling of wow, I can't believe that exists. I have so many questions. I get the opportunity to go visit. And then it becomes my job, and I think the skill I have is trying to explain something that complex to in a way that ideally millions of people could understand. And I struggle with that a lot because first I have to understand it, which is hard, and I have no expertise in particle physics. And so that takes a long time. That took several months to be able to produce, even at the level of complexity that we were at, which is fairly basic. And then also there's kind of this leap of faith where it's honestly, that video was a bit of a stretch. I had been making videos. I had made the quantum computer one, but I had also made a lot of videos that were about planes, supersonic planes, Formula One cars, things that I think are awesome and are less difficult to explain than particle physics. And so it kind of was this I think really well of my audience. I think that they're smart and able to understand almost anything. I think they're able to understand more than I'm able to understand. And so it's my job. I think it was Ezra Klein at Vox who had this phrase, but it became a repeated phrase at Vox, which is never underestimate your audience's intelligence and never overestimate their prior knowledge. So it's my job to go out and find the world's most interesting, most optimistic, most important to potentially millions of people things, and then tell a story about it that doesn't use any jargon and doesn't use any acronyms and can actually be understood by first someone like me, and then by an audience that is obsessed with something completely different. They're obsessed with, the deep ocean, and they have no idea what's happening at CERN. So that's the long answer. The short answer is that I didn't know they were going to actually watch that either. And when that video kind of popped off, I was just so pleasantly surprised.
It does sound like you put it through an idea checklist, though. Like, as you're talking, I wrote this down. So curiosity, so like natural curiosity is a key.
Yeah.
That has to be checked off. Access, that was the second point you brought up. The fact that you could actually go there.
Yeah.
Right? So
In that case, yeah.
So you could speak from experience. And then gut was also like leap of faith.
Yeah.
Was a bit of it as well.
Yeah, I would. That was definitely how it felt telling the story. The actual checklist that I think about before greenlighting a story involves 3 things. The first is this genuinely visual? Is there something to animate, point a camera at, demonstrate? All of those things are good key visuals that require a video explanation as opposed to an essay. I know that my skill is video making, not essay writing, and so I will leave that. Things that are best explained in text are best explained by other people. And so I'm looking for things that are inherently visual. Like if you and I are having coffee and we need, and we're talking about something and I need to like pull out a pen and a napkin and draw something, that's a good visual explanation. Or I need to pull out my phone and show you a picture and like zoom in on something specific and point at it. That's probably a good visual explanation. So I'm looking for those key visuals. In the case of CERN, it was this unbelievably great animation that my colleague Justin Poor made of the physical infrastructure of CERN itself, and then a conceptual animation of what was happening inside it with all of the detectors and all the collisions, and like what is happening when it collides with different parts of a detector, and how do you stop all of those things. And that became the key visual, and you need to see that visual in order to understand the topic. Otherwise, it should be an essay, it should be a podcast, it's not going to be a video. So that's thing number 1 is it inherently visual?
I feel like for me, what I wrote down but didn't say in that checklist was accessibility. That was something you brought up with CERN, and I feel like that fits right into that.
Like getting access to the thing?
Well, there's access is one thing, but then accessibility in terms of how you can tell the story, and the key visual fits into that. Right? Like, can I make this understandable to people who don't understand it? Can I make it accessible?
I don't think I've ever interrogated this idea before, but I think that I basically believe that anything that could be important to millions of people can also be made comprehensible to millions of people. I think.
Yeah.
And like that does not mean that I am ever going to understand the complexities of particle physics or quantum computers at its most deep level of expertise. But I do think that those people can explain it to me and I can explain it to others, and like together we can have an understanding at least of like what the point is that we're doing here. And that you don't actually need to understand like what a quark is doing to understand why you might want a quantum computer. So that's thing number 1. I think like anything can be made accessible, but you're right that I'm like always trying to figure out if I can actually do it.
It's also like the fun storytelling tension of watching most good video essays.
Yeah.
And especially yours is like, okay, Cleo, let's see. Like I clicked on this CERN video, but like, let's see if you lose me.
Yeah.
Well, one of the points of accessibility that you do really well is like some of the YouTube-y stuff that you leave in, right? Like when you and Marquez are getting in the car to go see the quantum computer, you like can't get the GPS thing to work.
Yeah.
And you hold on it longer than probably another filmmaker would, right? Like there's a question of like, does this matter in storytelling when you're thinking about reduction, right? It's like, can we get to the quantum computer quicker? But you intentionally leave that part in to make us go like, oh, these are our friends.
Yes.
This is just like our life.
Yes.
Right?
And then we make the explanation hit harder because of that.
Yeah. And that creates the imbalance of like regular people explaining something really complex.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think of myself as a proxy for the audience.
Totally.
Like just the person who happens to get to be there and therefore is responsible for asking the kinds of questions that they would want to ask if they were there. And so I try and write down all of the questions that I have right at the beginning that are their most simple form. Like, how do you get them to hit each other is the question that I went in with to CERN. And then it becomes like, okay, now I understand that there are superconducting magnets around the tube, and then blah, 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 blah. And then like, and so then my question to the expert might actually be like, tell me about how that magnet works and how many you need and what the, but.
That was a great visual in that, and a great moment of discovery for you plus the audience.
Yes.
Of that, it was like out of 100 billion, 60 hit each other.
Yes. And that moment of insight is only pays off if you ask the version of the question that doesn't worry about making yourself sound smart. I think that's the key. It's like sometimes I end up with the world's leading experts on a subject, and I have to be the one to ask them, like, how do you get them to hit each other? And I know that I sound like so many levels back. And sometimes I even tell them before the interview starts, like, I know that there are magnets. Like I want to get there, but like I have to start with the question that I came in with the like most childlike version of it, because like that's where my curiosity started. So that's part of it. This whole like visual concept, this curiosity. Thing number 2 that I'm looking for in the video is it, and this fits nicely, and there's so much overlap here, is it a genuinely good explanation? And I think this is what you were getting at with accessibility. Like, by the end of this video, will you feel like you've been delivered a satisfying explanation, or will it feel like I've only barely scratched the surface and I need another hour? And then the last category that makes me really happy and is why I love making this show so much is that the last question that I ask that I have never had the opportunity to ask before is this a genuinely optimistic story that makes me feel like I can contribute to making a better world? That like, it is astonishing that we built CERN and that we built the Large Hadron Collider in the first place at CERN, and that people have built supersonic planes, and then the business didn't work, and now we're building new ones. Holy cow. And that, you know, there are 20 incredibly fast cars that go around in squiggly tracks and millions of people watch, and it's basically like a road spaceship science project competition that is Formula One.
Yeah.
Like, all of those things are just so amazing to me, and they make me optimistic about the future. They tell me that there are smart people working on hard problems that I don't even begin to understand when I start out the episodes, and like by the end I can understand them a little bit more. And my favorite emails that I get about the show are young people who are studying engineering, which I did not study, and they're saying like, oh, I watch your show as kind of a menu of options. And I might, like, I had people say, one of my first episodes was about enhanced geothermal, which is really cool because it's making geothermal more accessible in more parts of the world. Typically, geothermal requires that you have a huge underground reservoir of hot water, which means that it doesn't work in most areas of the world. But there are ways that you can use the technology that we've developed for oil and natural gas in other parts of the world that do not have these vats of hot water underground, where you put water underground, use the energy of the earth to heat it up, and then bring it up, spin a turbine, and make electricity. And that requires like some amount of technical explanation. But it also tells you like, hey, if you're a person in college who's studying in the field of engineering that might lead you into oil and natural gas, you also have another option here. Like, you could go into geothermal. It's really cool. Here it is. And here are the people working on it.
I can't tell if you are like the world's greatest exception to the rule, or if I just have a rule in my head that is incorrect, that like simplicity is the best path to reach a mass audience. You know what I mean? Like, I think that if anyone came to me and was like, I got this idea for a YouTube video about geothermal, I'd be like, listen, let's talk about some of your other ideas. Like, that's so niche. I don't know. You know,
Maybe.
or like,
I do. One of the self-consciouses that I have is like, am I dumbing it down too much? Like, I do a lot of work to try to make sure that by the time it gets to my level, it's not oversimplifying something that an expert would dislike. Does that make sense? So
the audience is not necessarily experts, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's why I'm
the
doing
audience
it.
for Huge if true.
99.99% of the audience is people that have never heard of a topic, or maybe have heard of a topic in the news but don't know anything about it when I start. But there is that tiny fraction of a percent that is actual experts in that field. And I always want to make sure that it's a video that they would be excited to send to like their family.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good.
Here's what I do.
Also, their opinion really matters.
Yeah.
Even if it's fewer people, if they speak up about a video you made, it could really alter the trust you have as the creator or as the journalist.
And so much of what I do is kind of a love letter to them. It's like a different love letter to a different group of like engineers or scientists or technologists every episode. Like, hey, I see what you're working on. I really appreciate it. Like, thanks for being alive while I'm alive. And if I don't think that I will always please everyone. And in fact, I get into a lot of episodes where like there's reasonable disagreement. You know, in the CERN case, there are these proposals for an even larger particle accelerator. And even larger detectors, and all of that comes with money. And there's very reasonable debate within the scientific community about like, is that worth it? What will we discover? There are lots of other things that you could spend money on, et cetera, et cetera. And then it just becomes my job to like try as best I can to faithfully explain what those smart people are debating. And sometimes they aren't going to like it. Like that's okay also. As long as they feel like I've done a good job of explaining what they're talking about.
Can we watch the opening of the CERN video? Because
Sure.
I think a few things. Like, first, on YouTube, your first job is to earn the click, right? Like, your first job is to present an idea in a way that earns the audience's click. Your second job is to earn their attention, which happens in the first 30 seconds. So once you've gotten enough people to go like, all right, I'll give that video a shot. I'll watch that. Your next job is actually what we track is first 7 seconds and then first 30 seconds retention. And when I started going deeper into your videos, your first 30 to actually 50 seconds, I would say, your first 50 seconds of your videos are just so packed with questions that create a situation that I'll explain after we watch this. But let's give this a watch and then talk about it, the first 50 seconds of this video.
All right. Okay, ready? Right here on the border between France and Switzerland is the biggest science experiment ever built. It's this huge tunnel, over 100 meters underground and 27 kilometers long, running under nearby homes and businesses and farms. And inside that tunnel, scientists put a long blue tube, big enough to crawl through. And inside that tube, they put 2 pipes that they keep colder and emptier than outer space. And down those pipes, they fire particles smaller than atoms in opposite directions, pushing them faster and faster and faster until, when they're almost at the speed of light, they smash together, sending subatomic debris flying off into this massive detector. This underground particle smasher took thousands of people from over 100 different countries, $5 billion, and over 30 years to plan and build. My question was, why? Why do this? Why spend so much money and time to smash particles together in an underground tunnel? And now, why do so many people say that what we really need to do is build a bigger one? The future circular collider.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my favorite part of the montage.
The montage is
That's
okay.
like
I
you
know.
made it. Now enjoy the fact that you just got through all that information.
That is, you are like, this is a 17-minute long video. You just basically, title and thumbnail is the first pitch. The first minute there is the second pitch, right? Of like, hang with me for the next 17 minutes.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about how you script those and how you think about that? And how, is that effortless, or is that something that you're going like really deep into those first 60 seconds?
The latter. I mean, none of this is effortless. I'm constantly doubting every moment of that, and have I fully explained something correctly? And oh my god, that intro. I just want to brag about it for a second. The visuals are designed by an animator and producer on Huge of Shrew named Justin Poor. He conceptualized that whole visual of the sort of what it would look like in 3D, how the camera would move, all of that. And it is like, I'm so excited.
Unbelievable.
About it.
Yes.
It's
It is
so far beyond like my wildest dreams of what that is, and like he makes that real. So that's all Justin.
The fact that those are all original animations that's just completely insane.
And in the first 50 seconds is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's all Justin. And having, I mean, this is something else that we could talk about, but like having people that you can kind of hand the ball to and be
Sure.
like, holy cow, you can run so far and so fast.
Yeah.
Like, do your thing.
I want to stay on that on the graphic just
Yeah,
for a
okay.
second. Like, I've got a lot of questions about this intro, but when you're working with Justin on those first 50 to 60 seconds, what are you giving him? Is it just script and then he's like, okay, I've got it. Like, I think you can trust him to come back with that? Or how much back and forth is there to get to that?
Sometimes it's, I totally trust you and your artistic judgment. That's always true. Sometimes there are things within that you really need in order to have the visual explanation work. So for example, in that one, I think that what we did is I had drawn like visuals of it. It was like the very beginning was probably just a screenshot of the